there's a story of, when you plant things and how they grow once you put them into the soil and the sunshine and the water. Everybody's familiar with the growing process. It isn't anything new. We know how that lays over our spiritual life. So tune into this. If you're planting beans, and it's a while before they come up, and you're starting to wonder, natural thought takes over, right? Maybe I got a bad batch of seeds. Maybe I planted them too early. Maybe they're rotting. Maybe I planted them too deep. So on and so forth. So you're going through those natural thought processes. And if they were going to come up, they should have come up by now, right? Right? So what happens if you go and you move the earth away and you pop one up and you see that little taproot coming down, a little piece coming up? It's growing, you just can't see it yet. So here's the parallel, here's the analogy in our life. This, in a good way, hit me between the eyes this morning. If I say, well, if God was going to heal me, or if this was going to change, it would have changed by now. And that shift in mentality is, this isn't a method, try it, 30-day back guarantee, money back guarantee kind of thing. It's not a method. Well, if God was going to do it, he would have done it by now. This is a relationship. This is it's a love relationship, and I can take those expectations to the Lord. He's not saying, well, trust me. No, my arms aren't open for a hug yet. You didn't trust enough yet. Nah. Nobody does that to kids. If kids come running at you for a hug, or they come running at you with a boo-boo, what do? You open your arms up, when you pick them up and put them on your lap, and you find out what's up. God is the same way. And it's not that the time thing is hard. It's different. It's not just, it is hard. My sister is so looking forward to the day where she has MRS in front of her name. And she's been waiting and making hard choices. Were there other options beforehand? Yes, but were they probably what was ideal for her? No, there were too many red flags. She's waiting for that day. But if she keeps plucking the stuff up, you're slowing it down even more. And what are the chances that it grows after that? Don't be afraid. Don't let the enemy introduce upset in that. Saying, you know what, God, even if I have to keep coming back to it, you are good. Your mercies abound. I see it in the life of Jesus Christ. He never made anybody sick. He never told them they had to be sick longer. Never any once of that. You never said, oh, you poor people, you need to learn how to fast, because then you'd be really holy. No. Food with stuff left over. People healed, delivered, set free. And it says Jesus is the express image of the Father. Not a shadow, not a this. That's the Father. So anytime that the enemy comes and tries to sit on your noggin with upset or depression or emotion and angst, and the only reason I'm saying it, I'll stop myself right there, is because I experienced that. Not saying it because, well, I don't, so you shouldn't. No. Meaning is in, it literally comes and it feels like it's sitting on you. It feels like it's sitting here. You can feel it tingly in your skin. You know what I'm talking about. To be able to say, that does not define me. I don't identify or hook up with that. In other words, that's trying to become your reality. And so you are saying, no, this is not my reality. I'm not hooking up to this. This is not who I am. We were talking last week. I am not a worrywart. Yes, these things need to be dealt with, but worry does not sit in my driver's seat. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And there are times where there are sad things in life. It's part of life. We live in a fallen world. There's ups and there's downs. But I'm not going to let that define me, and I'm not going to let that I wish I had glasses with me, put glasses on and for me to look at life that way. Because how I see is how I go. That colors my perception of the world. It colors my perception of myself. It colors the perception of how I'm going to do life. So even if I have to take them off every 5 minutes for a while, I'm going to just keep setting those things down. No, that's not who I am. That's not who he's created me to be. And if you go, what do you mean created me to be? Clear the decks for a second. Is there sickness in heaven? No. Is there angst in heaven? No. Is there darkness in heaven? No. Is there turmoil and upset? No. And he said, in this life you'll experience these things, but don't fear, I've overcome the world. In other words, these things, they don't get to eat your lunch and pop the bag because I've overcome. Because of my finished work, you can expect something different here in this life. I love this. This was the most freeing phrase, one of them, I have a lot of them, that you don't need healing in heaven. It does you no good, because once you get to heaven, everything's fine forever. Where do you need healing? Here. Peace, when you get to heaven, everlasting peace. I need it here. Calm and joy, I need it here. So what am I doing? I'm changing my mind. So I love this too. If all power, not if, because all power and authority was brought back to us through Jesus Christ, right? Everybody following me? Because that happened, the enemy is rendered powerless, but yet we still see bad stuff. Yet we still experience fear. Yet we still this and that and the other thing. How could that be? If I have all power, how does this happen? You overcome evil with good. The only thing that he has to finagle with, if that's the best phrase, is deception. Is deception power? Only if I believe it. A lie is a lie, but it has no power over me unless I believe it. Unless I lend myself to it. I can tell my daughter all day, or tell you all day, that the sky is purple. That's a lie. It's not purple. But you see what I mean? It holds nothing because you know the truth. That's where we're getting to with the word. We're getting to the place where we go, no, this is the truth. This is what I believe. This is what I hold fast to. And even though I may feel this at this moment, it doesn't drive my car. It doesn't drive my life. It doesn't, nope. And Lord, I thank you that even in this moment, Jesus Christ is Lord. I'm the steward of my own heart. I recognize this is so not you. This is so not who you have created me to be. Right? That has such power in and of itself. Going, nope, that doesn't line up. That doesn't line up. Therefore, I'm not adopting it as myself. Right? Who has ever dealt with bitterness or offense, ever? Who has ever been offended? Who has ever had just that? That sits quiet, but it's an energy sucker.
Yeah.
Do you ever have, you say these appliances, they say that the ones that are super old literally just suck the energy. So if you swap them out, they'll give you a credit and your energy bills will be less. Bitterness is that way. And it's not going, you just shouldn't be bitter. It's saying, all right, Lord, what do you say about this? What is your mind on this matter? What's your take? I know what your word says about walk in love, and love keeps no record of wrongs, and I understand that. But I'm talking about real life here. And we're not discounting the word, but you say, all right, Lord, this is what's happened. This is what's happened, and it was wrong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose your way. You said to forgive, right? Or what? What's the parable? That the man was forgiven much, right? And he went out and somebody owed him less, right? You know this. And so he said, pay me what you owe me. So he grabbed him by the throat. And what? He was turned over to the tormentors. Not because God ordains that. It's just how it happens. If you hold the yuck, picture this. If you were to pick up dog poo and smear it on yourself and stand there like this, before probably 1 minute goes along, you're going to have flies all around you. Did God send the flies? No. You chose to pick up poo and put it on you. And it's not saying that the poo doesn't stink. It smells horrible. And if we weren't in church, there's a word that goes really good with that description, right? So, it does stink. And he's not saying it didn't hurt. He's not saying it wasn't wrong or anything like that. But he's saying if you hold it, it's going to attract other unsavory things. So when you forgive, you say, I forgive from my heart all who have offended me. God, I'm going to let you, it says you bind up the brokenhearted. You don't ask me to do it, you do it for me. And it says, the Holy Spirit is likened to oil. What does oil do? Can any bacteria or yuck grow in oil? No. It's a wonderful thing that he's called the oil. It's wonderful. So he soothes and he heals and he brings those things out so that you don't keep on pulling in all that yuck and it makes you toxic from the inside out. Does that make sense? I probably should sit down. That was why I'm still standing. So, anyways.
That was good.
God is good. Yes, Susan, what did you want to say?
Yeah, I think I have
an experience over the weekend that kind of illustrates, I think, what you're talking about. And my husband and I went on a bike ride, Paint Creek Trail, and so we did 4 miles, and I am absolutely dying. I could not, we got 4 miles, we had a total of 9 to go, and I was just dying. So I stopped, cooled down, and the Lord said, how about exchanging? So I said, okay, Lord, I want to exchange, take your strength, your energy, and I give you my weakness. And I rested a few minutes. I did the rest of the bike trip to Lake Orion with energy, with strength. The first mile or 2 after that, kind of shaky. But the more I kept saying this, your strength, I give you my weakness for your strength, exchanging. When we came back, we doubled our speed back. So if I was doing 8 and struggling on the way back, I had power, I had strength, I had energy from that exchange. So Lord, you take my weakness and I'll take your strength.
Yes,
And it
that's
was very
awesome.
powerful until we came to the cider milk and donuts.
Oh, well, that's bike trail.
My brakes stopped.
That's an example of the Lord being a present help in a time of need that we just read. And it doesn't have to be like a huge debt cancellation or healing from, a horrible disease or anything like that. But moment by moment, we yield to Him and we ask Him for His strength, for His wisdom on this, for His words for this. I mean, He is just a present help in every situation, no matter what's going on, big or little, in our eyes. I mean, He just wants to be involved. We yield to Him, He just always comes through. Even strength on a bike ride, I have to remember that one.
Well, you guys walk a lot, right? Is that what it is? He walks everywhere?
Well,
You're like, we'll take that into account.
I changed, I got myself a nice bike.
Well, there you have it, there you have it. And there's momentum that comes. Remember what she was saying on the way back, she kept picking up speed. Have you ever had a win in a place where you haven't had a win before?
Yeah.
And when you realize that you had a win, that you did God's way in this spot, it's energizing.
Yes.
And you go, oh.
Yes.
And you were even presented with the stuff from the enemy to grab a hold of.
Yes.
But you saw it for what it was, and you went, you're not eating my lunch and popping the bag, not today. No, I'm on to you. And not even, again, Lord, I thank you, Christ is being formed in me. God, I thank you that your Holy Spirit in me is enough. Lord, I thank you for that, God. That is being transformed. That's the being transformed. That's getting His take on things and that changing the viewpoint going forward. It looked like you had wanted to say something from your notes.
We don't have an identity crisis anymore. We know who we are, right? So I want you to say with me, I identify with my new identity. I'm going to go to the board over here because this has really helped me. This has been,
markers.
I put one over here. I really desire to walk in the new man, and I've really been seeking God out how to do it. And this has helped me. I'm just a visual person.